Good evening, all of you. A warm welcome to all on day 2 of the 7-day faculty development program on professional ethics, research methodology, and recent trends in research. With Ben Carson's quote, "Through hard work, perseverance, and faith in God, you can live your dreams." Let's begin the program with the blessings of God Almighty. Today, we have with us Dr. Sheila P. Karthik, Associate Professor of English, the Majora College, Madurai, to deliver an insightful lecture on the most important aspect for researchers, crafting research and choosing research topics. Welcome, ma'am. Now, I would like to call upon Dr. A. Badmapriya, Assistant Professor of English, to deliver the formal welcome address and introduce the Chief Resource Person.
A wonderful good evening to all. I would like to begin with my one of my favorite proverb. Better than 1,000 days of diligent study is one day with a great teacher. Here with us, we have a great teacher, sensible and scholarly researcher, an admirable academician. Yes, Dr. Sheila P. Karthik, Associate Professor of English, the Majora College, Madurai, has earned a highly meritorious academics by securing university rank during her Master of Philosophy. Her thesis stood to be awarded as the first on Canadian literature in Madurai Kamaraj University region. Sheila ma'am is specialized in comparative literature, Canadian literature, feminist criticism, research methodology, and ecofeminism. And she has attended more than 30 international and national conferences. She has shared her knowledge as invited lecturer of more than 30 in number to various institutions. Apart from academics, she has also delivered public talks on various social needs. So far, she has completed one UGC minor research project in 2009, and her research publication includes one authored book, 4 edited volumes, and several research scholarly articles. And she holds a strong hand in administration, and she had made her service as vice principal and principal at PKN Arts and Science College, Thirumangalam. She has extended her service as program officer of the girls unit of NSS during 2002 to 2005, and she is the coordinator of Women's Cell. And she has also served as a member in academic council and board of studies in various colleges. And she has been awarded the research travel grant to visit Canadian Studies Program SNDT Women's University, Mumbai. Apart from that, she is a voracious reader and she has donated books to Majora College Library. And, and now, with 26 years of her service in teaching, we are very eagerly waiting to listen to her lecture, ma'am. And I'm much proud to be her student, and she's my guide. And I have my batchmates here readily waiting with paper and pen for, as usual, for your class to listen to your lecture, ma'am. Thank you for being here. And now the day is yours.
A very good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Padma, I hope you are ready with the PPT presentation. First of all, very good evening to one and all present here. SFR College is very close to my heart in 3 senses. One is like when I was doing my research in Madurai Kamaraj University, I happened to move with senior faculty friends from SFR College, and they have been very nice to me, and we used to attend seminars and conferences together, and that has given me chance of being invited to SFRC for a few times. I happened to be there as a resource person, delivering lectures as examiner, so I'm really happy about that. One more reason is I love to visit the campus for the Peacock's Day. I hope that during this pandemic times, they have no disturbance from the human, and they are more in number, I believe. I would like to visit the college in person. Of course, if you invite me now, I may not be there because traveling consumes time, and many other commitments do not allow me to travel much these days. So I have to thank uh, the pandemic situation for making me to meet you all online. So for that, I have to thank you for making me part of this program. And I would like to thank the management specially, and the principal, and the chief coordinator of this program, Dr. Muthamal Selvi, head Department of English, SFRC. And I would like to thank all the organizers, the entire organizing committee. They are very cordial, and they have invited me, and I am part of this program because of them. And I have to acknowledge Dr. Shanti, Dr. Padma Priya, Dr. Mangir Karasi, and Dr. Shakila. Dr. Mangir Karashi has been a good friend online, and I know her for quite some time. And I have to thank you. And I have to thank another important participant here. She is Dr. Padmashini, a retired professor from University of Madras. Ma'am has invited me to um, her institution. Even after her retirement, she is serving there. And she has been instilling interest in research as well as language studies. And I have to thank her for the wonderful English Literary Club in her institution at Madurai. I hope that you can guess. So I was invited, and I had a very good hospitality, and I could see students very receptive of listening to a topic in literature. So that is really wonderful. I thank you, ma'am, for being a participant, and you are very eager to listen to me, and I'm really thankful to you for that. I thank all the participants who are there. Some of them are, as Padma said, they are all my students. They have been messaging me, promising that they are going to attend. So that makes me more responsible, Okay. So whenever I prepare for a lecture like this topic, I have been teaching to my students down the years, and I have been delivering lectures on the same topic elsewhere also. But still, I have a hesitation to talk on this. I feel that I have to prepare much, and I was preparing and getting ready with my PPT, and my daughter asked me, what is the topic you're going to talk? And I said, choosing research topics. Then she said, see, very simple, right? Let them Google and find a very wonderful topic. That's a great idea. Like, we laughed at it. And you see how these days many people, they are misled by the Google map directions, how they ended up in chaos and confusion by following the Google map. So I told her that I will uh, talk about this, because many scholars, they feel that by just Googling, they can get a very wonderful research topic. That is not so. So we have, of course, you have wonderful websites, wonderful online resources to help you. When we were research scholars, we didn't have such opportunities. But still, there are many things to learn, because choosing research topic is the very first step in any research for that matter. I have been getting messages from Hema Malini. I hope that she is from my college. Thank you, Hema. Okay, I'll go to the presentation now. So I have my presentation in 4 parts. One is research, where I am going to talk about research in general, in the sense about definition of research, characteristics of research, and the 6 steps in research, And the very first step is, of course, choosing the research topic. Why characteristics and why definition, you may be wondering? Because unless you understand the definition of research, unless you understand the characteristic qualities of research, you cannot locate a very good topic. And the second part will be choosing a topic, where I will be giving a few tips and questions to be asked while choosing a topic. Of course, some of the tips I have borrowed from sources, and some of the gathered from my own teachers. And during my guiding of my students, I have found these questions, relevant questions, to be asked before choosing a topic. The third part is refining a research topic, and we have to understand after getting a good research topic or a relevant research topic, we have to refine it. Why to refine, we'll understand in this part, and I'll be discussing with example topics also. Topics into simple ones, or narrow topics into broader ones. So we'll be discussing. Fourth part is all about thesis statement, or otherwise called a proposition or a hypothesis, and how a topic is different from a hypothesis, and how a hypothesis is very relevant to a title. These are the things we are going to um, see in that part. Shall we go to the next one? So the next, I have given just the title. This is the definition. Down the years, I have been using this definition, and I find that this definition is worth giving even today. Research is that. This definition includes all the aspects of research. So the characteristic features, the qualities of research, everything is discussed in this definition. So research is the act or process of searching afresh or investigating a new or a specific area or field of study with a view to attaining an objective or scientific understanding of the things pertaining to it. So you may be wondering why I'm reading. Don't think that I'm going to read all my slides. This definition is very, very relevant. That's why I'm reading. So there are highlighted words. Those are the key words which I'm going to explain in my forthcoming slides. So there are about 12 keywords. Let me go to the next one. The keywords are act, process, search, investigate, area, field, objective, scientific, understanding, pertaining, new, specific. These are the 12 keywords. What do we mean by act? It is said that research is an act. Act means we have to do. We cannot be idle. See, many people, they approach the guide, they say, I have come to get my thesis. That means not get my thesis done, but get my thesis. So that's not the thing. Research is you have to involve. Your involvement is necessary. So doing. Secondly, research is a process. Process in the sense it is a continuing act. See, it is a continuing act. You cannot say that this is that. I'll end with this. No. See, one by one you have to go, and it is a continuing act. And the third one is search. What is that? Look through to find. So look through to find is you have to look for something which is hidden. So research is research. That means that which is already there. You have to discover it. It's not like, see, at times, no, our research ends in invention. That is different. But basically, you have to look through in order to find the solution. The fourth one is investigate. So I have given the meaning there itself. to search into in order to learn facts. So investigation, it's not like police investigation. Even in police investigation, they will be searching in order to learn the facts from the culprits. Okay, so like that, we have to search in order to learn facts. So we have to add new facts to our already existing knowledge. So that is what is research. So actually, I wanted to start saying the relevance of research. So you all know the relevance of research. That's why you are all here. But research is in higher education, every teacher and every student must go beyond the classrooms in order to expand their knowledge by exploring into new arena, new avenues, and they have to enrich the already existing knowledge of the academia. So naturally, research involves learning new facts. And area is the next key word. Area means uh, extended one, a vast one, which has lot of scope. So you should identify your area, and it can be replaced by another word, keyword, field. Field is actually an area of observation. So it is like a land, a field where you can sit and observe what is going on, what is there. Am I to look for this? Am I to look for that? Like that. You have plenty of chances of observation. See, actually, observation is a term from science. In scientific research, observation is part of their practical experience. So, like that, even in literary research, we have to be observant. Like, for example, when I was a PhD scholar, I went to attend one PhD viva. There was a discussion going on, and incidentally, I got some idea for my research, which I was actually doing at that time. So you see, you have to be always observing. If you close your eyes, if you close your ears, even if you close your mouth, you cannot learn in research. Another keyword is objective. So without any bias, you should not have any personal subjectivity. See, that's why in choosing a research topic also, you should not choose a favorite author, your favorite subject, because you will tend to have some bias towards that. You will tend to always highlight that is the best one, that is the greatest, that author is the best, that author is the great. So it is better you be objective. And research is scientific. So even in literary research, we are scientific in the sense we are very systematic. Otherwise, no, we will not reach the end goal. So first we have to follow one step of choosing the topic. Then the further steps like conducting research. That is exactly collecting the secondary sources and other information. And then taking notes. That is the next step. You have to very systematically take down notes. There are very many methods of taking notes. And then you have to actually form an outline. Outlining is the next one, next step. And then you have to go for revision of the outlining, and then several outlines are there. Then with that, no, you enter into writing drafts. And while writing the drafts also, you can have two or three steps, like write one draft, revise it based on one outline, or you can revise it based on another outline, like that. So ultimately, research is scientific. And you have to, of course, infuse with the documentation. That is also scientific way. And the understanding is another keyword. This is to know thoroughly. So understanding is nothing but to know thoroughly. So research is nothing but to know a particular thing in a thorough way. It's not like simply uh, cut, copy, paste. So many students will come and say, "Ma'am, please sign for me. I won't disturb you. I will meet you after the stipulated. Now it is 3 years, okay? those days it was 2 years, the minimum 2-year period. After that, I'll come and disturb you and you please sign. See, that is not research. So you have to know thoroughly. For that to know, you have to do many hard works and then pertaining. That means things which are associated with that. You have to understand things associated with your research topic. You cannot simply say, I want to know only this. No, there will be other things also you will be discovering, you will be finding. Such findings can be, you can state them as scope for further research. So you should not leave the things associated with that, and you should not deviate. I have a tendency actually to deviate always in my class. I will quote from several past experiences and ultimately know to introduce what is research or to define research. It will take me 2 or 3 classes. So that's not good. But at the same time, we cannot leave things which are associated with that. Okay. So we should not deviate. And the new things. See, for example, there are many research topics already exploited by several researchers in the past. What is it that I'm going to say now? For example, William Shakespeare. Many have done. So what is it that I'm going to give? I have to give something new from my research. That means I should not say anything away from Shakespeare, out of Shakespeare, but I have to discover things which are not so far discussed by other researchers. So for the first time means that doesn't mean that you have to invent. You have to look from a different angle from which the work is not looked by others. Okay. Next keyword is specific. So you have to be very definite and particular in your research. You should not, as I told you, have a wider, broader area. So you have to narrow down. You have to specify what is exactly I'm going to discuss. What is it that I'm going to find? What is my research problem? I have to narrow down. I cannot have a very vast one, a general one as my topic. It should be a very definite and particular one. So we are going to learn all these things in further slides. And I always love this definition of research given by Sachin C. Ketka. So where he says, no, what is research, especially in literary studies after all? In very ordinary language, research is a contribution to a particular domain of knowledge. By contribution, I mean addition to what we already know about the particular area. If I want to write, I repeat actually, by contribution, I mean addition to what we already know about the particular area. So we have to start with a familiar topic only. We should not go and enter into unfamiliar areas. That will be very chaotic. So better contribute to what you have already known. By contribution, he is going to explain, right? If I want to write one more thesis on post-colonialism in Amitav Ghosh, spirituality in Sri Aurobindo, or feminism in Shashi Deshpande, so he is quoting 3 topics which are often done by researchers. And now he is saying, I'm not really adding to what scholars already know about these things. So if I choose the same kind of a topic, then I'm not going to say anything new about Amitav Ghosh. I'm not going to say anything new about Sri Aurobindo. I'm not going to say anything new about Deshpande. So finally he says, research which provides knowledge which is obvious and already known. So research must provide knowledge which is very clear and which is already known. It is not like unknown knowledge must be provided. And if you are going to give something already known, what is the end result? You are doing a research which is useless. It is of little use to anyone, he says. So already people know what kind of post-colonialism discussed by Amitav Ghosh. What is the spirituality in Sri Aurobindo? Or what is the kind of feminism discussed by Shashi Deshpande? But if I can contribute the post-colonial aspect as it is found in Amita Ghosh, which is not mentioned or which is not found by other researchers, then that is the real contribution. That's what he says. Okay, this is from MLA, Modern Languages Association of America. So we cannot dismiss them because they have given us the guidelines for doing research. Their handbook is now we have the 9th edition, so very useful. So they have given this definition. I have gathered the key points to explore an idea. So explore means it's a hard exercise. You cannot simply go going on an excursion. Exploring is different from going on an excursion. And to probe an issue. So issue is a small one aspect of a bigger problem. So several issues will be related to a major problem. So to probe an issue, to solve a problem, to make an argument in relation to what others have written. So actually research is an argument you can do about what other researcher already has said. See, you can refute with their arguments, or you can go in agreement with them. So both agreement or disagreement with what is already written by other researcher is also called research. And to inquire, it is not enquire. Enquire is to find fault with, but to inquire is to go in depth. So in-depth analysis will be there. And finally, to discover. Of course, I told you what is discovery and how it is different from invention. We are supposed to discover, and incidentally, if we invent, that is fine. Then I have gone to the discussion of characteristics of research or researcher, as it is discussed by John W. Best. So we must be directed towards the solution of a problem. So our aim is to find a solution for the research problem. We should not deviate. And development of generalizations, principles or theories. So based on the individual aspects we have taken for study, we can come to a generalization. We can formulate theories. We can arrive at new principles. So that is the ultimate quality of a researcher. We must aim for that. Based on observable experience and description. So research is, as I told you, we have to be observing always. It's an observable experience. So what is, see, it is not like a meditation or yoga wherein you will simply say that only you can understand only when you do it personally. It's not like that. Research is you have to have observable experience which you have to describe to others. They must also have an observable experience of the same. So that is what you are supposed to do. You cannot say, hunch, my gut feeling says so. We cannot say like that in research. We have to prove with evidence from the text, new data or existing data for a new purpose. So already, for example, if you are doing language study research, if you want to know how many schools are English medium schools, then the data is already existing. And you can use that existing data, already existing with the government. So you can go and collect. And with the existing data, you can do many different purposeful research. At the same time, for example, you do not know how many students are studying in the rural, semi-urban, or in city. You do not know the distinction. That means it needs a new data to be collected. So you can go and collect. So already existing data is there, and you have new data. You can use both for a new purpose. Okay. Then research is designed procedures for rigorous analysis. See, you have to go for analysis. Analysis, you have to understand the term. Analysis is part by part. For example, this is a pencil. If I want to have an analysis of this pencil, then I have to analyze the different parts of the pencil. only then it is called analysis. Okay, I have to talk about each and every part of this pencil. So like that, no, research is also an analysis containing lot of procedures. So see why I'm saying all these things. If you want to become a researcher, or already most of us are research guides, then we have to tell our wards like this is it, research is not easy. And at the same time, we should not threaten them saying that it is a very tough task. Once you say the seriousness of it, then they will become a sincere researcher. See, for example, in our institution, we have a research methodology paper in MA, and they have a project also. Many of the students are not interested in doing any serious research. They simply wanted to copy down from several sources. Of course, they have project news, very often used by them. So you see, I have to tell them, see, there are many serious things about research. You cannot take research so easily. And I'll be asking in the very first class itself, how many of you are really interested in doing a sincere research, or how many of you are interested in comedy research? So I'm ready for both. I'll be giving the same thing to everyone, but I will tell them, if you take it in a serious way, the end result will be a very very nice experience, which is not an observable experience for others. Okay, it is a pleasure of knowledge, pleasure of I am able to do this. So that is it. We have to tell them. That's why I'm explaining all these characteristics of a researcher. And research must be very objective and logical. There should be no place for element of emotion. See, just because when you go through a particular novel, when you find that the character is very much suffering, you should not feel sorry for that character. You have to logically analyze why, what is the reason for the suffering, and who are the reasons, and is it the part of the on the part of the individual lies the fault. So we have to analyze logically, and finally say that pity that character, or find fault with that character, etc. So we have to be very very objective and logical. And some more characteristics, next slide I have discussed. So we have to be very patient. Those days, no, to send an email I have to travel 20 kilometers, and after sending the email to Canada, I have to go back, and I have to wait for 10 days to get back that reply from the same email sending center at Madurai. Again I have to travel 20 kilometers, and I cannot open my mail. I'll be sending the mail from their mail ID. I cannot have a mail ID. So such things are there. I have to wait for at least 15 days to get a reply for my email from a far off place. Of course, I waited patiently, and I got wonderful secondary sources sent by the librarians from Library of Canada. So we have to do research in an unhurried way. So we should not think that I have to complete it. See, I'll be asking the students who are approaching me to do their research. I'll simply ask, why is it that you want to do research? Because students will immediately say, some students will say, madam, I'm yet to get married. Until then, no, I'll be doing my research. Or some students will say, see, I am to finish my PhD degree in order to get my job. I need it urgently. So research cannot be that. So if you are like that, your topic can be entirely different. Okay. For everything, there will be some route, but research is not that. Okay. So unhurried activity. So careful record and report you have to do. Small things you have to keep in a very perfect recorded format, and the report also must be done in a very careful way. Um, uh, I received a phone call some years back from one of the researchers from somewhere, asking for a primary source. And I asked, to what stage are you in your research? Are you collecting your primary sources? But I was really shocked, and you will also be shocked. That person said, "No, madam, I am at the fag end of my writing. Actually, I need that primary source in order to uh, quote certain lines from that primary text." Come on, you'll be laughing, but it happened. But that is not research, okay? So we have to go in a very systematic, careful way, record everything. And at times, no, I have my own personal experience. I have taken down some notes, and I have not noted down the bibliographical details. Those quotations are very, very relevant. I don't know from where I have taken, but very wonderful lines to be quoted. But what to do? Now you can Google and find. That way, our students are really fortunate. But I was not able to use that quotation because it was unethical. No, I should not. It is not part of me to do like that. So I just left that quotation without being quoted. And courage to prove or disprove. Yeah, see, some people will frame their hypothesis, and while writing, no, there will be, you have to have a flexible mind. Otherwise, no, sometimes you want to disprove a particular factor, but it so happened that in your course of discussion, you find that uh, it is otherwise. Then I have to accept. So what is found, no, must, it is my own finding one day, but it is not like I have to go by my hypothesis always. I can prove or disprove my hypothesis, and I have to have open mind. Yeah, see, these days people are not that much open minded. So even when they present their research paper in a forum, if there is a criticism, they are really angry. And even if there is some suggestion from others telling that if you choose this topic, it will be very, very difficult, they will not accept it. But you have to be open minded right from the beginning of choosing the topic till the end of attending a viva was. We have to have open mindedness, and as a research guide also I must have open mind. See, I must give room for my what's interest. So actually, I wanted to talk about Dr. Padmapriya. She was very stubborn, saying that I wanted to do on some British writer. And I asked her why, and she had her own reasons to say. And then I said, let us go for young adult literature. And she was very happy. And at that time also, I thought she will choose some young adult writer from US. No, she didn't go for an American writer. She was very stubborn, and that thesis had come out really very well because she had that open mind, and I also had that open mind, and we enjoyed that research. And then interest you must have in that topic, okay? Unless you have the interest, you cannot pursue your research. Personal involvement must be there. Free inquiry, yeah, you must have. For example, you enter the library and you hesitate to ask the librarian. Even the librarian will help you with all wonderful research topics. You have to accept that, okay? So don't ignore anyone. You have to ask everyone, each and everyone, for everything. Only then research is complete. Then you can find very wonderful topic. And you have to be very sincere, of course, and you must be single-minded. See, now students know they commit themselves in many things, and research is part of their many things. No, it's not so. If you do single-mindedly, then you can arrive at a wonderful topic, and you can go in a very nice way. Your research will be a wonderful experience. And some more characteristics. Persistence. So persistence is you are constantly taking lot of efforts, and you don't leave it. Unyielding nature. So a researcher must have that. See, if you are looking for a topic, if you are not able to get the thing which you wanted to get, don't stop. Be persistent. You will get your topic. Keenness, yes, of course. You must be very keen, very much at it. Okay, you should not deviate. Academic integrity and honesty, I told you as how I just left unquoting a very wonderful secondary source because I didn't find the bibliographical information, because it is really not ethical. It is plagiarism. So we should not involve ourselves in plagiarism. Even right from the topic, you should not borrow the title of others. You should not steal the topic of others. There are people doing it. Um, One student told me, this is the research paper title I have given, ma'am. But you see, my own colleague stole that from me, and she has submitted that research paper first for that presentation. So I was really shocked, ma'am. She said, I said, no problem. You can become innovative. You can recoin your title. So such things will be there, really challenging. But we should not give such unethical challenges to others. So we must be honest. Meaningful discriminations, of course. We have to choose what is good, what is bad. We have to do that discrimination. So what is good for my scenario to select the topic, I have to be very, very careful. I have to discriminate. Is it feasible for me? I have to be very open. I have to discriminate. See, I should not like தமிழ்ல சொல்லுவோம் இல்லையா, பூனை வந்து புளியை பார்த்து அதுவும் கோடு போட்டுக்குச்சா அப்படின்ற மாதிரி, I should not copy others. Things which are feasible for me, I have to discriminate and I have to accept that this is my limitation. Classifying data, of course, we have to do. These are all the later part you have to do. Scientific method, of course, I talked enough about it. Then I just wanted to say these are the basic 6 steps in any research, not only in literature. So selecting a suitable topic, conducting research, compiling a working bibliography, taking notes, outlining, preparing the paper. So why we have given the first place for selecting a suitable topic, because unless you have chosen a right one, you cannot proceed with all other steps. I have been guiding a lot of MA projects, right? So I have seen many students, they'll stumble upon this first step itself, and they will not come to the second step at all till the end of the odd semester. Only in the even semester, they will say, ma'am, I have only 3 months. So let me choose a very easy topic. Then I'll ask, which is easy for you, you choose. So they will make you go down to them. No problem. Such students can also be accommodated, should be accommodated. But this step decides all other steps. So we have to be very careful. In that way, it is a very prominent step. Okay, I'll go to the second part of my presentation. I don't know whether I'm going very slow. So choosing a topic. Here, these are the points to be pondered over in finding and developing a research topic. So first of all, I have given all these things from Robert Smith. See, I have to acknowledge, right? I don't want to steal ideas from others. My ideas come later. So can it be enthusiastically pursued, he says. These are the 11 points he wanted us to ponder over. So whether there will be enough scope for research, we have to understand first of all. Then secondly, can interest be sustained by it? See, some people will start with wonderful topics in the beginning, but later on they will say, no, ma'am, this topic will not do good for MPhil, or this is not suitable for conducting research at PhD level. So they will simply lose interest in that topic because there is no such kind of sustainability. Okay, is the problem solvable? Yes, of course, we have to be very careful. While choosing, we have to choose a problem which is solvable. Unsolvable problems we should not choose, because then we cannot end our research activity at all. Is it worth doing? Yeah, we have to ask this question before selecting our topic. is it worth doing? Like by this topic, am I going to do any great contribution to the field of knowledge, or will it be of some use to society? I have to ask such questions. Will it lead to other research problems? Yes, definitely. See, for my MPhil thesis, no, I just surrendered myself to my research guide, because I first went with a very ambitious topic like linguistic anthropology. At that stage, I didn't know completely all about linguistics or anything complete about anthropology also. But I said I'm going to analyze a novel by understanding the language used by the characters and trying to have an anthropological study. Come on, what are the bombastic terms I have used? My guide said, "You don't know anything about all these things. Come to me, this is reality. You choose whichever you want to choose." She asked the genre, I said fiction. Okay, come on. Then she said, "You are student of comparative literature, then you compare two writers." Okay, I said. And then I was fascinated by Virginia Woolf, because my guide also did her PhD in Virginia Woolf. So naturally, in her classrooms, I enjoyed Virginia Woolf much. So I chose. And then comparable Tamil writer. Then I ended up with Vasanthi. That was suggested by my guide, of course. And you see, then that was my topic for my MPhil, comparative study of Virginia Woolf and Vasanthi. Later on, for my PhD also, I continued and I compared this time Margaret Lawrence with Vasanthi. Okay, and then I had led my actually my projects, research projects, and even in guiding my students, I'll be recommending, but not compelling. Okay, it's not compelling, it's only recommending. So I'm interested in Canadian literature and how to link India and Canada. So Indian Canadian or Indo-Caribbean Canadian, like that. That way, I had a lot of research done. Indo-Caribbean Canadian, so double migration. So you see, one research problem must lead to other research problems. There must be scope like that. We have to be very careful while choosing the topic for the first time. Is it manageable in size? Yes, of course. We have to think about it. Whether it consumes much of my time, whether within the stipulated time I can complete it, or whether the length of the thesis 200 or 250 pages. I cannot go beyond that. With this chosen topic, can I manage the size of my thesis? So all these things I have to uh, analyze before selecting the topic. What is the potential for making an original contribution to the literature in the field? Yes. So what is the original contribution from my side? Okay, I'm happy with a lot of plenty of secondary sources available. Yes, of course, we have to think even before choosing the topic, we have to think whether enough preliminary research is done in that area. All right, good. But that doesn't mean that my original contribution should not be there. So, of course, I have to think about it. If the problem is solved, will the results be reviewed well by scholars in your field? That means, for example, I am interested. Some people will come and say, "Ma'am, I am inspired by your classroom teachings of comparative literature. Can I compare music and literature?" Then I'll ask, "What is the music?" And then they will say, "I don't know much about music." Then I will learn and do. That is not possible. So you should not have such things. Okay, even your problems, your solutions must be analyzed and reviewed by scholars in your field. Your guide must be first of all an expert in that, and other examiners must be an expert in that. Are you, or will you become competent to solve it? Yeah, that is very, very important. Am I competent? Whether I have knowledge of music, first of all, there as a researcher. By solving it, will you have demonstrated independent skills in your discipline? Yes, of course. I have to think whether I can be very independently solving my problem which I have taken for study. Will the necessary research prepare you in an area of demand or promise for the future? Yes, of course. How it will take me to further research. So he wanted us to ask all these questions. And here I have given actually 8 tips as given by John Reeds. Um, I think I can skip. I can go to this because this is mainly from my real-time experience of making the students select the topic. So preliminary reading at the library or browse websites. So I have included websites, but I always feel that if you read the printed copies in the library physically, then you will have a very wonderful experience. So you have to see whether enough work is done already and whether there is any possibility of me contributing to that topic. And I have to read other dissertations or dissertation abstracts. So that at the end of every dissertation, no, there will be scope for further study. If that dissertation is well written, definitely that will contain scope for further studies. So from there, no, I can take topics. Classroom interactions. Yeah, many times students will come and say in the class, you just specified the topic on children's literature. So I wanted to do that. Like that, even in classroom interactions, you can get topics. Listen to the problems discussed in seminars and conferences. How many of us have the patience to attend the seminars and conferences throughout? Many of us go to the seminars, present our paper. Once our session is over, we leave the place. We should not do that. We have to attend all the sessions, listen to all the papers presented, then you will get lot of topics. Do not select favorite author or writer who stood the test of time. Yeah, I told you already. So that will be actually painful if you want to say something negative about your favorite author, because you have to be very objective. So that will be a very painful experience. So that's why you should not select your favorite author. See whether primary sources are easily available. Yes. So now online we have, but don't select a book which is outdated or not printed now, like that, out of print, etc. Not too technical a topic. Yes, of course, don't do that. Simple problems you have to select as topic. Don't select too technical a topic which will need more expertise on your part, which you may not possess. Two controversial subjects, like that particular author is a controversial author, or that particular subject which is discussed in that work is a controversial one, then we have to very wisely avoid. We should not waste our time unnecessarily, and that will end up nowhere. No grand general topics like democracy, religion, those are all general topics. We should not select. We must be very specific. Probable, acceptable, and true topic. Yeah. So that which is probable, so I can work on that. That which is accepted by everyone, it's not a controversial topic. That which contains a real research problem, a true topic, I have to select such a thing. And ask others also. So don't hesitate to ask others. People will say, try to hide their topics from fellow researchers. That's not good. You please be open in discussing with fellow researchers and other supervisors also. Many of the research supervisors will have some ego, like why you talked with that ma'am or that sir. No, you can talk to other supervisors, and you must discuss with other research oriented people also. Only then you will get a very wonderful topic. And reasons for research, that will decide your topic actually. So why I wanted to do research? Is it out of personal interest or some confusions in my previous findings? That's why I wanted to continue my research in that topic itself. So our topic will be decided by these factors actually. So social needs, sometimes that will make us do our research in a particular area. And utilitarian consideration. Is it useful for someone? For example, a language study, the linguistic habit, listening skill of a particular classroom. So that will have some utilitarian consideration. So you can, that will decide your research topic. And you have to be very watchful, of course, because chance favors only the prepared mind. Don't then come and say that I have missed my topic. Then ask yourself these questions: whether adequate supervision is available for that topic, whether time limit will help me, like my topic, it should not be too vast and too small. And then tools and techniques, whether these are all available. Tools and techniques in the sense all our library resources, online resources, whether I have all these things with me. Adequate finance, affordability. I should not choose a topic for which I have to travel all over the world and collect information. One of my students wanted to travel to Sri Lanka when she was working on a Sri Lankan writer. I asked why. Is it necessary? And she said, I wanted to meet the writer in his place. That's not needed. But of course, if you are affordable, you can go. Okay, so adequate finance available, I have to check. And people to cooperate, yes, of course, your family must support you, your fellow researchers must support you, your research guide must support you, and instructor's choice, that is very, very useful and helpful, and that will really help you. You can choose a very wonderful topic if you discuss everything with your research supervisor. Yeah, refining a research topic. I'm going a little fast because the organizers wanted me to speed up. So some broad topics I have already given. These are all nothing but all the titles of our courses which we offer in our PG program or UG program. So these are all some broad topics. Okay. Of course, it is self-evident. I need not read all the topics to you. And this is another list containing some broad topics. So I have included language studies also, like culture studies, diaspora, eco-criticism. So these are all the various philosophies and theories which we teach in our class. That will become a broad topic for you. And you can narrow down that broad topic into these topics, but they are still broad. I give you two or three example, like gender roles, comparisons between two characters, comparisons between two novels. Once again, it is very broad. A literature of a particular age, so that is very, very broad. Or single author, biography, typical styles of author, like that. The literary devices used in a work, still it is broad. We have to narrow down further. Okay, this is again some more still broad topics I have given. Maybe if the organizers can share the PPT with you, it will be helpful to you. And why to refine, first of all? So broad topic is unmanageable, so we have to narrow down. And in order to suit the amount and depth of research required, we have to narrow down our topic. And in order to suit the time and length prescribed, already I talked about this. If I have only 3 years of time, and if I have only 200 pages, then I have to choose a topic accordingly to be very specific or focused. So for that reason, we have to refine. We should not have a broad, then it will become unwieldy. So you will end up nowhere. And too narrow a topic must also be avoided, right? So how can we refine? These are some of the possible means. For example, a prominent theme in the literary work. We can go by only one theme. That way we can refine. Or we can talk about one or two of the main characters, not all characters. Then we can refine. Or we can work on one particular chapter or scene or passage of the work, so that it is a narrowed down topic. Or an event in the author's life that may not be related to a theme in the work. That can also be one narrowed down topic. Or a specific school or type of literary criticism, if you take, then it is a narrow topic. And for example, if you have a too narrow a topic, then go for comparative study of two or more works, or two or more works by the same author or by different authors. See, a student asked me, say I'm going to work on a new writer, and the writer has written only one novel, but I'm interested. That writer has got much to say. Then I said, you go for comparative study, because that one work alone will not suffice for a PhD thesis. These are some of the example topics I have collected from MLA Handbook. So post-colonial consciousness in Indian writing in English. So this is identified as a too broad an area. So we can still further choosing one particular writer, we can work on the same post-colonial consciousness. Analysis of a single novel by any author is too narrow for making valuable generalizations. Yes, if you want to understand that author's technique, etc., we should not select only one novel and we should work on that. We have to select at least two or three novels by the same writer so that we can have a generalization passed on the writing style of that writer. Then imagery in Shakespeare into blood imagery in Macbeth. Violence in the media, that is a broad topic. We can narrow it down by saying that the effects of cartoon violence on preschool children. So this is some way of narrowing down the topics. Okay, this is another thing, topic versus title. People confuse what is the topic, what is the title. Actually, title is nothing but the thesis statement. Okay, the proposition, the hypothesis. That can be should need see, actually a thesis statement or a proposition or a hypothesis will be a full sentence, but title cannot be a sentence. We can refine it into the record format later, but topic is different from title. That I want every researcher to understand. Many times, no, they try to give the topic as the title. So that people will say, I have already narrowed down my topic. No, so this is my topic. No, it's not. So even after narrowing down your topic, you have to refine it into a title. This is it. So what is a thesis statement? It is an assertion that may be believed, disbelieved, or doubted. So many of you research guides, you will know that it's a governing idea, hardcore of one's intuition, a focused research question. It can be called an answer to the research question. It can also be defined as a way to clearly state the purpose of the research undertaken. Of course, it's a precise statement of what is to be answered, proven, or what the researcher will inform the audience. So thesis statement will contain all these things. So our title must contain all these things. So our thesis statement should be a debatable one, in the sense argumentative. So, for example, Shakespeare's Hamlet is a play about a young man who seeks revenge. That is mere summarizing of our idea, but that is not a thesis statement. It should be a debatable one. So, it is Hamlet experiences internal conflict because he is in love with his mother. So, that is an argumentative thesis statement. Okay, I'll give some examples. So while you are converting your topic into a title, you should not think it should be a catchy one always. It need not be a catchy one. So you don't feel sorry that my topic is not a catchy one. No, what your the hypothesis, that is reflected in your title. Okay, so don't worry about having a catchy title. And don't try to be alliterative in your title also. That look very awkward. Many times, for the sake of alliteration, we use unnecessary words clumsily, and our title becomes very, very boring one. And don't give any emotional elements in your title. Don't give you are shocked, or you love that author, or you have some kind of what you exclaim at that position. No, don't have such emotions in the title. And your title cannot be a question or a sentence or a fragment. Many people have a question as the title, or a sentence as a title, a fragment as a title. No. So actually, you should not italicize or underline or put your title in quotation marks or bold face or type in all caps also. This MLA handbook gives you how to write a title. And then no punctuation after the title. Don't put a full stop or a question mark or an exclamation mark at the end of your title. What you should do, you have to clearly indicate what is the problem you are going to discuss inside. That should be your title. And you should not have emotion, but your title should be very intellectual. And there must be, it should not be a question, but it should be a turn of phrase. And subtitles you can add. So I think I can give some PhD thesis titles. These PhDs are awarded to these candidates who have worked under my guidance. So I can very boldly talk about the titles. A study of J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series as a quest fantasy. Acquisition of the Cinderella skill, listening. A case study of the learners of engineering in Madurai. So you see, listening is called the Cinderella skill. That is given within brackets for clarity's sake. New realism in select problem novels of David Allman and Tim Bowler. That is actually Dr. Padma Priya's. New realism is what she wanted to discuss. Multiculturalism in Neil Bissundat's Select Fiction. So, Neil Bissundat is a Caribbean Canadian. So, how he is multicultural and what is his reaction to multiculturalism? People should not be carried away by the title thinking that he supports. Actually, he is very much critical about multiculturalism in Canada. Pilgrimage towards a post-colonial metamorphic global. So why multiculturalism in Neil Bissundat's Select Fiction? I said there is the other way because it should be a debatable one. So title should be a debatable one. Okay. So pilgrimage towards a post-colonial metamorphic global citizenry in Cyril Dabedin's short stories. Eco-feminist concerns in Tamsula's select writings. Challenges faced by secondary grade English teachers in select state board schools of Thiruvallur district. So we are very, very specific in that title. We are going to concentrate only on the secondary grade English teachers and that too in select state board schools of Thiruvallur district. Not all the schools, not all the state board schools in that district. A comparative study of select didactic fiction in the Western and Eastern literatures. So here also very specifically said it's going to be a comparative study and that too didactic fiction written in the Western and the Eastern. Of course, plenty, but we are going to select. That is, everything is clear in the title itself. Okay. This is, of course, my PhD thesis. Title is Feminist Concerns in Select Novels of Margaret Lawrence and Vasanthi, a Comparative Study. So everything given in the title itself. That's what I meant by converting the topic into a title. Of course, I have given full justice to my presentation, I believe. Now I expect some interaction from your side.
Good evening, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I'm Raja from Sivagasi. Ma'am, thank you so much for your wonderful presentation, ma'am. And especially your presentation is truly an FDP which gives a beautiful insight to research, ma'am. Actually, I'm doing my PhD for a long time, but now whatever suggestions, especially in the last, you have told about the title and other things. Really, it is very useful, ma'am. I also have been thinking about these catchy words or like all these things. But now you have put a clear idea that it is not a matter, but it's a beautiful presentation, ma'am. And truly, you have given a good insight how I have to do my research in further, ma'am. And definitely, you have given a wonderful session, and it's an eye-opening session to me, especially, ma'am. Okay. And thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Even if you have not written your, submitted your thesis, even in giving titles for your chapters, you need not be catchy. You must give very relevant titles. Yes. Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
And you talked about all these new areas. It's really good, ma'am. I missed, if at all I attended 3 years or 4 years back, definitely my PhDs would be somewhat different. Anyhow, I will use this for my future purpose. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you, organizers also.
Good evening, ma'am. I am Jeremy, your MPhil student. Now I am working in MGR College, Hosur.
Okay.
Your session is very wonderful, ma'am. It got inspired more students to do more PhD. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your observation.
Good evening, madam. I am Siv Subramaniam from Major College, madam.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. I didn't notice you.
Yes, madam. I have been very much pleased with your presentation on the part of how to begin the research and also not to choose a topic. You have begin and how to end the research in a very fruitful way. So it is really helpful for the researchers. One should do in a perfect way of shaping the research in future at least. Of course, one thing I want to add, if I am right, your session is very much highlighted on the part of characteristics of a researcher. But where I find it one thing, though you know very well I have not been guiding any students as part of research, but what I find it, you have already told about one particular aspect, the perseverance, but I want to add one more thing, that is actually commitment. But most of the researchers, when they start doing it, they have most of the expected enthusiasm to go for the research, but later they think that I have to finish it off, I have to throw it off. So better, I think there may be one characteristics I feel that it is very much lacked in our present setup of our researchers. So that's only one thing I want to add, and almost your session is
Thank you,
really
sir.
helpful to the
Actually, we have
researchers.
been
Thank you.
discussing
Thank
on
you.
this sense of commitment on the part of the
Sir,
students.
madam.
So we
Yes,
are
yes, madam.
actually
Yes,
neighbors, like we are sitting next to each other. We have been talking on the quality of research, etc. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the contribution.
thank you so much, madam. Thank you so much, madam. Thank you.
Shiva sir, may I add something to him?
Yes, sir, definitely.
Yes, yes, yes. Why can't?
I think the lack of commitment is due to UGC.
Oh,
Now,
yes.
no, because we are
Yes,
also
yeah.
research supervisors.
Yeah, one
And
way I can. Yes, tell me.
no, sir, I have some justification for my statement,
Yes,
and
yes,
that
yes.
is,
Yes. Yeah,
and that is that being supervisor, sometimes we are unable to make good choices, whether
yes.
the participant or the researcher is ever willing to pursue doctoral research or not, or only for the sake of a degree and to prefix the word doctor before the name. I
Yes.
think that's the only purpose in many cases. And
Yes.
UGC is trying to distribute doctorate degrees to each and everyone.
Yes.
So that's the
Sir,
most important
actually,
factor I find.
Yes, 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 sure, sure,
Whether
sure.
there should see
that is made as
everyone
the
cannot be
mandate.
made a researcher. A researcher should becomes a good researcher by himself, by his own intent and will.
Sure,
So if
sure.
you forcibly allow people to in the world of research, then such type of non-committed people will be there with us. I think so.
You are right, sir.
Yes, yes, you are right, sir. That's what
Made
they
mandatory for the essential qualification. Then people do it in a hurry and they want to get it by all means, etc., etc.
Because, ma'am, very recently UGC has told that by 2024 everyone has to be doctorate if you want to go for higher education teachers. So when snake, owl, and wolf and tiger, everyone will be doctor. Then I don't think that.
I think this has to be addressed at another forum. But if at all they come to this, we can still advise them to do in a very meticulous, committed way by doing some sincere research. That's all we can do. That can be our contribution, right? Thank you, sir.
Right, ma'am. Right, that's true. Thank you so much.
If there are no questions, I just wanted to thank the organizers for the opportunity again. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for an interesting, useful, and informative lecture, ma'am. Within a short span of time, you were able to cover so much of information, ma'am. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to call upon Dr. K. Mangayakarsi to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, my dear friend, for having given me this honor and privilege to propose vote of thanks on this memorable evening. At the outset, I thank God Almighty for making today's session a resounding success with more than 195 participants. At the outset, my cup of gratitude overflows to thank our renowned speaker of today's session, Dr. Sheila P. Karthik, Associate Professor of English, Major College, for having consented to be one of the resource persons and to deliver her lecture on crafting research, choosing research topics. Ma'am, to be honest, your session was like a sprinkling fountain of knowledge on how to choose and how to craft research and research topics, ma'am. And I hope the feedback itself shows how effective and fruitful the session was. Thank you so much, ma'am. And you just insisted on the characteristics needed for both the researcher and for the research supervisors. And you just quoted on the characteristics like persistence, keenness, which is very essential for bringing the thesis into a successful one. And you quoted your own word, Dr. A. Bhatnapriya, as an example for. Thank you so much, ma'am. And on behalf of PG and Research Department of English, I extend my heartfelt thanks to the magnanimous management of our college for their extraordinary backup in bringing our dreams a reality. I express my sincere gratitude, our vibrant principal, ma'am, Dr. T. Palanishwari, for her continuous support, which propels us to achieve our great academic endeavors in a successful manner. Thank you, ma'am. And my hearty thanks goes to our esteemed head of the department, Dr. K. Muthamal Selvi, for her marvelous support in concretizing our idea of organizing this 7-day faculty development program at national level, a grand success. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all the distinguished invitees present here and accepting our invitation and making this event a more successful one. I thank all my fellow organizers for their strong support and cooperation and making this event a more memorable one. I thank all the learned faculty members of my own college and my dear colleagues for spreading positive vibes, which makes us to step on the ladder of success. Once again, I thank each and everyone for showing keen interest in attending and in making the session a more fruitful and successful one. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.